Well, it has been quite a while, I will say, since the last podcast. I think it was a month ago. Look, things happen, things get in the way. So, maybe there'll be more in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to promise anything anymore, so yeah, but I think we should get straight into it. Today, I'm the only host for today, sadly. Alex won't be here. I've kicked him out for now, just because why not? No. I found that maybe Alex may not have as much of a, I guess his sort of view on what is to be discussed today. So, reading the title, today we will be talking about a little-known TV show called Game of Thrones. And today, I have with me a very special fan who knows quite a lot about the Game of Thrones. Would you like to introduce yourself, Christian?
G'day. Yeah, it's Christian.
So, Christian, I want to ask first up, actually. I sort of had this sort of question. When did you first get into it? Were you like when it first came out? Was it like you waited a year? Because it came out 2011, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 2011. So basically, I would have been way too young to start watching it at the time.
Oh, yeah, fuck, yeah.
But
Hang on, I forgot about that.
Yeah, true. I would have been only like, what? I don't know, 11.
Yeah.
No, but I think I started watching it when I started watching it in like grade 10. And that was like, 2015?
2015, I think.
Yeah?
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
2015.
Yes, 2015.
Halfway through 2015, and I was like, so I started watching season 1. And
Were you
then
introduced to
I
it
think,
by someone, or was it just like, I'm just going to watch it?
I honestly can't remember. I think I was in class, right? And then basically, I think someone was watching it in class. And then I was like, hey, what's that? And he was like, it's Game of Thrones. And then from that day on, my life changed dramatically and for the better. It was amazing.
Well, for the better.
And I officially have an addiction.
Yeah, well, I think everyone who watches it has an addiction now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely true. For me, anyway, I've only, probably 2 months ago watched it, though I did watch it within 2 weeks, which I will say is probably not the best idea, but I did it anyway. Yeah, I think I can't stop thinking about it now. It is definitely, as you did say, thankfully Christian was the one who introduced me to it and kept telling me to watch it, and eventually I did, and now I will never look back on it.
Yes, I was very determined.
You were very determined, and
Yes.
I 100% agree.
I knew you'd love it.
I 100% fucking agree with that. Like, everything that is in it is definitely right up my alley.
Exactly.
I fucking loved it. But with that, I do want to say quickly that today, essentially, or I guess today, how this is going to work is we're just going to basically talk about a couple of different things of Game of Thrones. Basically, as usual, I'm sort of splitting it up. That's a bit different to usual. But for the first part, essentially, we're going to be talking about season 8 theories, essentially, or anything sort of in the theory realm of anything like that. But obviously, it's mainly going to be pointed towards season 8 because it is coming out in like 6 days, I think. So
I know.
The hype is
so
real.
Excited. Literally this coming Monday.
Yeah, it is. Shit, I can't believe it. I have to wait. I want to watch it straight away, but because I think it comes out during the day. I'm at fucking uni.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I gotta wait.
It's perfect for me. I get Mondays off.
I don't. I've got to wait till night. It's gonna be the worst.
God.
I just want to watch it.
I'm literally going to like wait till 1:30 because that's when it comes out for Australia.
Yeah.
So 1:30 p.m.
Jesus.
And I'm gonna get the Foxtel free trial just.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yes. But yeah, I gotta wait. So I'm gonna try not to be spoiled. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about the theories today. Then after that, what we'll do is a bit of a quiz, because last time the quiz that we did, I think with Alex and Jack, was very interesting, and I think that was very fun, I guess. And the third stuff we're going to talk about is essentially the future of Game of Thrones, because clearly it's ending, which is very sad, and I don't want it to end, but things have to sadly end. But, the future of it, what could come of it, and also sort of, there's a lot of other adaptations that can come of it, and there's a plenty that I would fucking love, but I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But essentially, this is fully going to be about Game of Thrones. So if you don't like it, what's wrong with you? You have to watch it and come back. I will advise there's going to be spoilers throughout this, but I think everyone who's watched it is up to like the latest episode. So I'm just saying. So spoilers ahead. I am saying that so no one get. Well, no one's really saying anything, but I believe. Oh, also, my audio may sound a lot shitter than usual. Sadly, it turns out my microphone has decided to not work, so you will now hear me as Stereo Man. But
don't even worry. I'm same at this end, really.
Yeah, but I believe it should still work in this. Should all still go to plan. Well, I believe we should head to the first section of our Game of Thrones about theories. Alright, so, Christian, theories. Is there any...
Theories.
There's... Fuck, man, there's a
lot.
Bucket. There's a bucket load of it,
There's a fuck ton, yeah. There's like a whole...
Look, I'm going to fucking just slam one. I'm just going to slam one straight at you, right?
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to say, let's have a look. This one I fucking read. I thought it was funny, but it also is like it doesn't make sense, but it's definitely a really interesting one. This is a bit of a goofy one, I guess. So Varys, Lord Varys, yeah, that's a spy guy, spy master, but who eventually turned to
the spider.
Spider. Sorry. He is a merman. You heard of this one? Yeah, have you heard of this? Okay, all right. Let me fill you in with the fucking details. I was reading this shit. I was like, okay, this sounds really weird. So I will give you context. So a merman, merman is literally just a mermaid, right? So essentially what they're saying is Varys is a mermaid, but a man. So I thought.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
So essentially, what they talk about is how quickly he manages to get from, I think it's King's Landing, to wherever on the other side of the sea, whatever it is.
I think it was Marine.
Yes, Marine. He just somehow manages to get there super fucking quick. There's some things I'll get it up. Basically the speed in which he traveled from dawn to Dany's ship. In when I think it was when he was.
It was in the finale. Yeah. The season 6 finale.
Yeah.
When Daenerys finally started sailing over the narrow sea, and we see him in the ship, but earlier in the episode we see him like ages away. Like how the fuck did he get there?
Yeah.
I was at the time I was thinking crazy, sort of thinking in my head is just is he like a faceless man or something?
Yeah.
But
how would he get this?
I think in retrospect, I think it's really there just for plot convenience.
Oh yeah. No, there's not.
I feel like a lot of things gloss over that, because the showrunners have to give some lenience to some time management in the actual show. Well, but I mean, that's a whack ass.
I know, it's a fucking really wacky one.
It's a conspiracy. This whole time.
Yeah. Imagine if that's like the big reveal. That's just like that's what happens. It's not like everything else was a lie and just this.
No, it's just like first episode is just like, oh yeah, he just casually says, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a merman.
No, you just fucking see him you see in season 6 of him just swimming through the fucking.
But you know what? Sea. Do we ever see his legs?
We never get to see his legs. No. He's wearing these big robes over him. Fuck. I cannot believe there's so many theories like that. Just these weird conspiracy things, and obviously it's it's. I'm going to say it's probably not likely that is true. More or less, I wouldn't want that because then it'd be a bit, whatever. But no, it is definitely how did he get to these places super quick? But as you say, it's the idea of sort of the plot and sort of obviously how it all works in time because, well, kind of you don't really know how the timing works because it just jumps usually because it goes to different people. You're not They're not all at the same time, clearly, when they swap scenes, but there's obviously some correlation between them all. But yeah, it's not like, because otherwise, like, yeah, if it was a super long voyage and they just didn't have him at the end, it'd be a bit boring. But no, yeah, definitely that was a very interesting theory that I was looking through them and I just saw that. I was like, wow, that's a very interesting one. I didn't think of that. Well, what about you, Christian? Have you got any to throw? Because I got a fucking list of them. Or do you want me to go through mine?
Well, with the whole like Valancourt prophecy.
I've heard of it. Yes, I don't really know
Yeah,
much
so
about it.
remember, I can't remember which season this was in. It was like it was the first episode of a certain season. I think it might have been season 7.
Yeah.
And it was a flashback sequence with Cersei, the Stark mother. I always forget Catelyn
Stark. Yep.
And they go to the Frog Witch, and then Cersei's prophecy is then foretold, where she loses her three children and then is killed by the Valancourt, which is code for younger brother, right?
Yes.
Now,
yeah, I know this.
Yeah, so this is a pretty common theory, but with the whole so they think it's Tyrion, right?
Yeah.
But it would be more like poetic if it was Jaime.
Yeah.
Because like season 7 came and went without, much discussed theory coming to pass. But, the stage is now, I think it's like the showdown between Jaime and Cersei, I reckon. Like, because like after she revealed her plans to sit around and let everyone else fight the Night King, Jaime left Cersei.
Yeah.
And the, alleged unborn child, like that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I've got to cover.
Then he was just like,
yeah,
because like in the trailer, he wants to fulfill his oath.
Yeah.
He's sick and tired of like betraying
everyone and fucking them up. Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of tension there. So I reckon it would be amazing if
he did.
I reckon if Cersei's definitely gonna die. Like surely.
Yeah, I think
surely.
Yeah, like it's definitely like
it would have to be either Jaime or Arya.
Yeah.
That kills Cersei.
Yeah, I think definitely in terms of being more poetic, it would definitely be Jaime, and it's sort of like doesn't go full circle, but it's definitely like I guess it's also like this is terms of story standpoint, in terms of like how a character developed over the entire season, over the entire series. Sorry.
Yeah.
Going back to your point before was how he's keeping his oath to help them against the Night King and stuff like that, right? He made an oath basically to help them, and since then he's basically keeping to it. But like I definitely think because when you first meet him, he's not really the most likable person. But over time, obviously, you've learned to like.
Literally, first episode pushes a kid out of a window.
That's how worse can it get? But then like now, we more or less want him to be almost sort of a hero type figure because of sort of this redemption path he's been on.
Yeah, especially back in like it was between season 3 and 5. Like how you try and remember which scene is in which season.
Yeah.
But,
I can't remember
the scene where he's with Brienne in the bath. Him confessing the actual truth, and oh my god, that's honestly probably one of my favorite scenes.
That is definitely a good scene. Like,
yeah,
it's such a.
And also one of my favorite lines is like when he says, by what right does the wolf judge the lion?
Yes, stuff like that. Yeah.
When I love it so much.
Yeah, talking about the theme, the scene, sorry, with him in like with the bath with Brienne. That was like a big scene, essentially because of sort of this, I guess, the tension around it, and also obviously this reveal of basically of himself, and like you definitely like leading up to that point, there was a bit of like, I guess, not anxiousness, but a bit of conflict in the sense that was he really telling the truth half the time, or was he not, and stuff like that when he was with Brienne and also Catelyn and stuff like that when he was taken prisoner. But at that point when he was in the bath, I think that was like the moment where it's sort of like the truth really came out because of one, obviously everything that's led up to that. He's been literally, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I know he said he's at least been a year in the prison essentially. I think he was a bit longer than a year, but whatever like that. But basically a year in prison, and basically like however long after that he lost a fucking arm, and he suffered through all this because of essentially, what he really did. But that scene in that bath was a big sort of a reveal of character. The way the way he said things, but like it wasn't just the things he said, it was the way he said them, right? It was the way that he told them in terms of like how a character would give it. There's like this conflict inside his mind. There's eventually sort of been one is basically finished, and the conflict inside him has led him to reveal that he needs to reveal this truth, and that was a big sort of character development moment, which I am a fucking massive fan of any character development, and I like seeing how a lot of it works. And sometimes I will say it doesn't always go to plan, but usually, it usually does go pretty well because there's always that idea of a conflict, and there's always that idea of a tension. There's always that idea of almost a sort of an inner voice as well.
And it's like that's what it is. Like it's just so extensive throughout the show. Like there's so much character development. It's insane. Like with Catelyn, Jon Snow, Daenerys, like it's all over the place with like just even each season there's like a dramatic like just change that like, and it just like even let's say for example even with Theon, he went from being like in the sense cocky to without one. And nice. Like and like people change, and that's like what I love so much. Like it's realistic because 100%. and there's so much like loss in the show, and it shows how different people deal with different things.
100%. I will always give praise to like any character developments. 100% my favorite thing of any sort of book, movie, film, any media of any sorts. And definitely I would say like I haven't read the books, so I can't really say if obviously I know the characters are a little bit different in there, but the character development within both of of George R. Martin's work is sort of, it's very tied in with this character focused development, which I think is definitely definitely the biggest draw of Game of Thrones because of these characters and the way that they've come across and everything behind that. But yeah, definitely sort of tying it back into the Jaime killing Cersei idea. Definitely, I think it's very poetic. It definitely, in terms of how it would work in terms of a character arc, or how like it would make sense, it would make complete sense because of what's happened, because of initially their sort of relationship has sort of, I guess, not soured per se, but definitely drifted away towards the end of the season. And there's that sort of, this is another theory going on, it is that the baby that Cersei has isn't actually his, and is actually Euron Greyjoy, I believe, the brother guy of the original Greyjoy boy. Is that his name? Euron Greyjoy?
Euron is Theon's uncle.
Uncle, yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that idea. This is sort of leading into another theory, is that that talk of, he was saying, like, basically whatever he wanted from Cersei and stuff like that. And, there's a bit of, in terms of looking at it like more in depthly, there's maybe indication that has already happened, that he's already gotten something more from her, a child. And that would be definitely a really big reveal, I would say, because, like obviously Jaime believes that's his child, but then if he finds out it's actually not, then that would just, I guess, enrage him even more, leading him more to sort of that idea of he would kill Cersei. And there's also all these other factors of basically what she's done, everything that sort of led to her being to where she is. Talking about the that witch, all her kids died and all stuff like that, and sort of, her future. But also there's another thing that sort of, I guess, sort of leads into this, sort of, is that she's going to become the Mad Queen, which which is essentially the Mad King, but her, and she's basically going to be crazy and kill everyone essentially, because she kind of really has killed a lot of fucking people,
Yes,
especially
with the wildfire.
With the wildfire, and because there's still wildfire everywhere, she could just fucking kill everyone if she wanted to. She doesn't really give a shit about anyone else. She'd rather, have whatever she wants for herself. If that means killing everyone, she'll kill everyone. But definitely, if then she's the Mad King, Mad Queen, sorry, that gives even more emphasis for Jamie to do it, because also it's that idea of he's almost being betrayed because she's sort of going against a lot of his ideals and everything like that. But definitely, I think that would be a very poetic, justifiable thing. Thing, I guess, killing, murder. Maybe, like, if it is like the Mad Queen, it could literally be like how it was when Jamie killed the Mad King, where he just stabbed him in the back, or whatever.
Because in the show there is that whole thing of like history repeats itself.
Yeah. Yes, I think that would be very poetic, and that would be very, very, very good. Though this is me just being who I am, and because the way I like stories and stuff like that. This goes into sort of every theory that I'm basically talking about. Is as much as I like these theories, I'd rather be surprised. The reason why I like that stuff is that, well, then I feel like, obviously the hype behind it is there and everything. However, I just feel like kind of, obviously, I probably deciphered whatever fucking puzzle that was in the book to find out this is the theory or whatever. I would rather be surprised by something. However, that being said, surprising is a bit hard. And especially with, I would say it'd kind of be harder with this end, with season 8, because, well, there's 100 different theories that go out, and some of them at least are going to be true. But yeah, sort of going back into the way I like looking at things is, as much as I like all these theories, for any sort of movie, book, film, whatever, I would rather be surprised by something. I'd rather want to have something else jump at me, because I just feel, as much as I like these theories, I'd rather something else that's completely different. Maybe not completely different, or something that's a little bit different. That's just the way I look at things. However, that being said, I think the idea of Jamie killing Cersei would be very poetic and very interesting.
I mean, especially if he finds out that, it's not his baby.
Yeah,
if that
100%.
If that theory with Euron is right. And you know what, I feel like something that could back that up, right, is because there have been a lot of off-screen dealings with the two.
Yeah,
because we find out in the finale that Euron's been sent to go grab the Golden Company.
Yes,
right, so he must have had a reason, because he probably got something out of it, like you said.
Yeah, because why the fuck would you do that? Also think about it. How fucking long would that take?
A long time. He'd have to, because I think it's Essos. That's ages away.
Yeah.
And then, oh my god, in the trailer, I love how we actually get a glimpse of the actual Golden Company in the trailer. That was actually so awesome. Because now I feel like we're actually going to see the war elephants. Because that's the thing.
Yeah. Fuck.
I'm actually so keen.
I think they're just going to be normal war elephants, but it would be amazing if they were like the Oliphants from Lord of the Rings. The fucking ones.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
If they're like these massive fucking elephants, like literally towering creatures, like mountains that fucking war. I don't think it'll be like that, but I definitely think they'll be like, if there was like that, that'd be amazing. But still, fucking war elephants are fucking cool.
Yeah. How would they get them on the boats?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. It's like, they went their whole fucking talk when they were this is with Daenerys and all that. They were talking about how the fuck are they going to get the what are they, the Dothraki. I don't know, fucking
Dothraki.
The Dothraki. How are they going to get them over and their horses over? That was like the whole big sort of season 1 to 5 or whatever. What they were doing, they were trying to get ships and everything. These people just did it. Obviously, the Iron Fleet is fucking massive, but these ships are like long ships, so they're not very big. They are long, but they're not very big, and I don't know how the fuck they're going to carry elephants.
Euron did get the Ironborn to make a new fleet.
True, but man, that must be some fucking big boat if it's going to carry some elephants.
They were. And did you see something something to note though in the trailer, when we actually see the Golden Company in the ship, there is one person who's captaining the boat, right?
Yeah.
That you can see, and he has blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole meme around that, right, is another theory going around is that, like, well, actually, in the whole sort of lore of things, you know, around bastards and that, there's a lot of apparently Targaryen bastards.
Yeah.
So I believe
that he could be one.
From memory that he could be a Targaryen bastard. And if that is the case, we could probably see them, the Golden Company, joining Daenerys instead of Cersei.
This sort of, I guess, ties in a little bit with that. I understand like that point, but my sort of not issue behind it is I guess it's an issue behind it is that why would he want to really change sides, considering maybe he doesn't really know her, and would he really give a shit if she was a Targaryen? For all we know, he wouldn't know, right? That's another thing. It's like,
I mean, yeah, because like there's all the whole things about you know, motivation and intent, really, around a character.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I remember reading, like, not reading, I was like watching an interview like with George R. R. Martin. Yeah. And he was talking about when he was making his characters, you know, he always stepped away from the whole, you know, good versus evil, like, you know, in Lord of the Rings, there's the whole, you know, the evil people are, you know, ugly, and, you know, all the good people are,
dude, all
you know, amazing.
Beautiful.
No, but yeah, like, I think one quote that he said that really, really moved me was when he said, you know, it's all gray. Like, it's all a matter of perspective. Like, we all have it in ourselves to be good, and we have it all in ourselves to be evil.
Yeah, and that's definitely like a big, I guess, the big draw also, because of these characters. All these characters have been good and bad in some situation. There's an instance where they've all at least been good or bad in some situation, right? Even though probably takes, like, I can't do one off the top of my head, but definitely I would say most of them at least have been portrayed in both sort of the good side and the bad side. And that's definitely, obviously, an indication of sort of definitely good character development and good character creation, because no one is one-sided, really. No one ever is going to be one-sided. Someone is going to have bad thoughts and good thoughts, you know? Yeah. And there's always that conflict. Sort of going back to the idea of conflict, of, you know, this conflict within everyone's mind is, otherwise people would just fucking say the truth all the time, right? But they don't. No one says the truth all the time, because there's a conflict within them also that they're hiding this truth from them because they want to gain something out of it, or stuff like that.
Because we're all capable of, like, it's all morally, you know, relative. Like, we're all capable of doing selfish things. We're all, you know, capable of doing cowardly things. You know, like, it's really makes you think about, you know, some scenes, like, especially in, like, the Red Wedding.
Ooh.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Actual, like, just on that note, fucking the Red Wedding. Can we please just touch on that for a second?
All
because
right,
that was probably the most traumatic experience in my life.
I'm going to tell you right now. At first, I didn't really, because when I was watching it, I've heard people talk about all these things like the Red Wedding and stuff like that, and I didn't actually know that was really the Red Wedding. I thought the Red Wedding was later on. I didn't know it was this fucking early. Okay. I thought, because I wasn't really expecting anything, but then it fucking slammed when fucking Thingo basically fucking got shot in the chest. His wife got knifed in the throat. Yeah, Rob was killed, and then Catelyn
honestly,
eventually was slit in the throat.
I was speechless, because literally there's this pregnant lady and she's getting stabbed in the stomach.
I cannot believe how fucking gory that shit was. That was ridiculous. I cannot believe, like, I'm not squeamish by any. I think I'm pretty fine with that stuff, but man, that was fucking gruesome. Like, seeing that, you know, just seeing some guy fucking
I watched it for the first time and I couldn't sleep.
I just cannot believe that. But, you know, like, that's like the big side also of Game of Thrones. There's so much violence and gore. It's very detailed, and it's very more compared to any other sort of fantasy movie or TV show. Definitely Game of Thrones takes it straight away in terms of they are fully brutal and violent.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Merciless.
merciless. They just fucking murder people.
Yeah.
Blood is like fucking rivers. Blood just flows in fucking rivers, right? There's limbs torn apart and shit like that. Fucking when Oberon's eyes were fucking basically plugged in, right, by the mountain, right? His fucking thumbs. He just fucking stabbed his thumbs in the fucking guy's eyes. Like, what the fuck? You know, the thing is like, fuck, you'd never really see that anywhere else, you know? Here,
Yeah,
it's
like,
just fucking
oh
here.
my God.
God,
I
yeah.
was so annoyed when that happened though. I was like,
What?
I was so keen to see the Martell family
Prince
line
Oberyn?
like
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Oberyn Martell. I was so keen to see him further
Yeah,
because he was such
too
an interesting
fucking.
character.
I liked him. I
But
like the actor too behind him.
yeah, I know.
But I swear to God, I just want to say on this, the guy who plays it, Pedro, whatever his name is. I swear to God, every fucking role he,
Pascal.
yeah, Pastor. I swear to God, every fucking role he plays, he dies like pretty like quick in the movie or anything. I swear that's like
Yeah,
a continued trope with. Like, look, I think everyone will agree with this. It's
it's
sort
like
of
it's like Sean Bean.
yes, it's like Sean Bean. You know, he dies in fucking Lord of the Rings. He dies in this, and I know there's other ones he fucking just dies in. Obviously, there's a whole debate. Why the fuck did he just not kill him? Why didn't he just kill the mountain? He still did kill him, really, because now he's a fucking undead or whatever. But it's like
Hashtag the game ball.
that's the yeah, fuck. I'll get keen for that. I will say there's that idea behind this has got talking about Prince Oberyn and basically him being sort of cocky and not killing the mountain, right? Obviously, you understand there's a motive behind the reason why he basically, I guess, enjoying the moment, basically, of towering over him, essentially. And he, like, obviously, most of the time, really, he sort of had the upper hand. However, he let it slip. And there's the idea of, obviously, talking about the idea of, going back to the idea of conflict, tension, and all this other stuff that builds up to the characters. Obviously, we sort of get an understanding of the character, why he was like that. But there's also that idea of, really, you just want him to kill him, right? If the way that this is more me because I've been looking at it a lot more in terms of different characters and also within the Game of Thrones and everything is if you think a character would do something straight away, like they would kill this person immediately and not fuck around, you would want that to happen because it would make sense, right? Why would somebody spend the time sort of giving the other person an upper hand, right? They would still know that, you know, this guy's probably like, he knows, Prince Oberyn knows the mountain's a fucking tough fighter, right? But he takes that moment to sort of be glorified in the moment. But if I was being honest, I think he would have actually just went and killed him immediately and not fucked around. I think now it's a bit of I guess, an opposition to sort of how it all works. But it's just the idea of if we're reading a character or looking at a character and they do something stupid or they do something that makes no sense, really, I don't think it makes the character less likable because of, well, they didn't really do something that would make a lot more sense. However, that still goes back to what I was saying before, that there was a reason why he sort of was being glorified at the moment. However, there is still that sense of we as the audience also, you know, complain about why don't you just do it, stuff like that. But obviously there's the motive behind that because obviously then it would just sort of ended an entire storyline there, like Tyrion would have survived and everything. But that's just a little bit besides the point. But that's a little bit of a tangent of that. But sort of rewinding a bit, talking about the Golden Company, I do want to say, now we're talking about the idea of the Golden Company basically joining Daenerys, right? Because of Targaryen blood. There's also this idea of, well, because Cersei, I'm not 100% sure how this all worked because I haven't really looked too far into it, but I know a little bit about it, is that she paid off the Iron Bank with the Lannisters' money or something like that. So there is no debt anymore, right? And the Iron Bank are free of basically the debt, or the King's Landing or whatever, are basically free of debt, I guess, I think, something like that. But the idea behind that was now the Iron Bank have been paid, and they've paid the Golden Company. What's them keeping them from not saying that? Well, it looks like, Cersei, you're going to get your ass kicked. I don't think we want to send the Golden Company to help you. We'll send them to join the other people with the fucking Dothraki. Why the fuck can't I say it? With the Dothraki, the fucking the North and everything. You know, there's that idea of like, yeah, why don't the Iron Bank just say, you know, Golden Company, you always stick to your word, but we're the ones who kind of paid for you, so you stick to our word, you know. Just fucking join the winning side, you know, whatever. You know, stuff like that is, there's nothing really stopping them from swapping sides, really, because the debt's been paid. There's no point, stuff like that. And I definitely think the Golden Company will probably fight the good guy. Well, I guess the good guys, the Starks and all that, and Daenerys' army. However, I think they'll then swap sides and be like, oh shit, there's an undead army that's coming. Maybe we should help, you know, stuff like that. And I think that will 100% happen. But yeah, there's that sort of idea of like, why would they? There's no point in them really joining Cersei's army, because if they look at it, she's kind of in the worst position right now. She's basically the only army she has. I would say maybe the Lannisters, but I'd sort of give the Lannisters to even Jaime, just because of the connection he has with them. Like, Cersei hasn't really done anything for Lannisters. She's done everything for herself. She hasn't been to the fucking Casterly Rock or whatever it is, the homeland of House Lannister. You know, so like, why? I don't think there's anyone really gonna help Cersei, really, because if they just look at the situation, there's no point of helping her. One, because she's a maniac, and two, just because like she's sort of why would anyone help her, because she doesn't really help anyone else. The only army she probably has is like the city guard or whatever they're called, you know, but they're not really that good. But yeah, that's sort of, that ties in also with the idea of, you know, motives and stuff like that, is that there's the Lannisters, there's the Golden Company, there's also the Dawn and stuff like that, you know. Where do their allegiances really lie? Do they actually align with Cersei? Would they want to help her? Or they're like, hang on a second, probably not a good idea. I've heard about these undead army that's coming, and there's a much bigger army up there. Maybe we should help them, you know, because if they fucking lose, we're all dead. But, you know, I'm just speaking rationally right now. Sadly,
let's be honest, everyone's gonna die.
Everyone's gonna fucking die. Yeah, well, really, everyone's fucking gonna die. So sadly, that's the truth of it all.
He took down a whole dragon by himself. I think that everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, he fucking just grabbed an ice javelin, right? Just a fucking ice javelin, threw it, perfect spot, you know, hit it right in the heart, I guess. Yeah, the fucking dragon should have got out of the way, but, you know, got its ass kicked, ass whooped, and it fucking, like, the big thing is also is that, how the hell did he just destroy the ice wall, the wall, with literally just a fucking dragon? Right? It's like the entire point of that was like to keep everything out. But it goes to the idea of, well, now he's got a fucking dragon on his side, you know?
Yeah, because dragons are magical, right?
Yes.
And the wall can only be unbroken by magic.
Yeah. But isn't Night King magic?
Yeah.
So can he just fucking, I don't know.
The Night King actually is magical.
He isn't? Like, how the fuck do you walk through flames?
Because he's imbued with like
magic.
The magic of the what was it called? The forest. Who the
Children of the Forest. Children of the Forest.
The Children of the Forest. So their magical power resides within him. So the Night King.
Technically magical.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's like that whole thing with that, like the hive mind. You know, like he's. Oh yeah. I feel like once he dies, if that happens, if that happens, then everyone else dies.
Yeah, the entire world dies. He's actually keeping everyone alive.
Yeah.
They fucked themselves. Talking about the idea of sort of the Night King sort of controlling all these people with a hive mind, it's a little bit, I guess. Actually, it's a bit of a wacky one out there, I'd say. So obviously there's the Lord of Light thing.
Channel. Like the Hive chat.
The Hive chat, yeah. With the Lord of Light, two things I want to talk about that, because I want to move on to something else. First one is that the Lord of Light is going to, there's a theory that, I don't think there's any evidence for it, but it'd be cool. He's going to resurrect anyone who's been burnt to death, to come help in the war against the White Walkers.
Really?
I think that would be a very interesting one. All these people who've been burnt, so everyone who's been burnt will come alive, I guess, and be undead, but help the good guys.
It'll be like reverse Infinity War.
Yeah, reverse. Yeah. And there's also the idea of Melisandre, who's going to go back to Volantis, and she's going to get those badass fire warriors, whoever they are. I
remember. So she's I remember like
I can't remember shit.
Hearing this.
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool.
she's going back to Volantis to grab an army of red priests.
Are they like slaves? They're like
is that the thing?
So yeah, they're like there's this army. I want to search it up. There's an army in Game of Thrones who are dedicated to the Lord of Light. Essentially, they're like part of the
It's similar. It's similar to the Brotherhood without banners, but they're more like it's like similar to that. Yeah. But it's like obviously it's army and they're all
so they are all, from what I remember, is they are all slaves, but they're all like super fucking badass slaves. They like they use fire weapons and shit. But there's only like a limited amount of them. There's only, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 1,000 of them. However, they're like,
I mean, that's still a lot. Let's be honest.
1,000 is a lot, but they're still, they're like these super powerful not beings, but people who are like really fucking strong. The Faith Militant, I think that's what no, that's not it. The Faith Militant are those other guys, those crazy fucking fanatics. But yeah, there's some sort of fire badass warriors, slaves, who are like, fuck, I want them to come. They sound cool. You know, that's what I want, right? I'm also a big fan of I just want a fucking massive fight with all these fucking cool things. I want to see the fucking. This is the problem, right? Or, I feel like there's gonna be too much.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like this is why I hate why this is the last season and there's only 6 episodes. There's so much more content that they can get through.
Oh,
but they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to do it.
It's impossible. But that's anything. That is literally anything, right?
I just wish there was like at least one more season so they could just lose the cover.
We'll say that though, and be like, "Fuck! Why didn't they just put another season out? Come on, you know." I understand.
And then once that's done, come on, just one more. Another one.
I feel like, definitely. There's there's a lot of things that are going to happen. Definitely, there's no way it's going to tie up all loose ends. But I think sometimes.
Did you know that even George R.R. Martin said that he thinks season 8 should not be the last season? He said that.
Yeah, but dude, like, how long's this fucking season going for? Like, not 8 years? It's done really fucking well for 8 years.
8 years. Holy dooly.
I feel like. I definitely wouldn't mind having a fucking another season, but maybe we need to move on. You know, I don't want to move on. We need to move on.
I'm just gonna rewatch them every time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel we should move on to the next section of the podcast. So we will move over to this next section. So, Christian, this has gone a lot longer than I expected. So. I have a quiz.
For me?
Yeah, I have a quiz for you. We'll do this one. This one's shorter. So, I think this is a newer one.
If I win, will I be granted as Azura High?
Yes. So, if you get everything right. So, I don't know how good these questions are. They are relatively new. They came out only a couple of days ago, so we'll find out. But I don't really know how well they are because I've only had a look through some. So, it is Game of Thrones quiz. How well do you know your trivia? I
love trivia.
How well do you know your Game of Thrones? Can you achieve the Iron Throne, or are you destined to join the Night's Watch along the wall? That's a little.
Look, either way, that sounds cool.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, all right.
I am the sword in the darkness.
So, first up, there's 20 questions. Okay, I'm going to tell you the question. I'm going to give you the 4 answers. You have to tell me which one it is. What I'll do, I might join in too, because I don't have the answers or anything. So, the first question is, how did Daenerys Targaryen eventually hatch her dragon eggs? Is it 1, in a lightning storm, 2, in a funeral pyre, 3, in a fireplace, 4, in a frozen cave? I think that's an easy one.
Well, that's super easy. It's the funeral pyre.
First one.
Back in the
at the end of season 1, Daenerys Targaryen.
Season 1 finale. Unfortunately, Khal Drogo.
I want him to come back.
The best character.
Why the fuck did he die? Why did he die? Like he.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he died because he was poisoned or something, wasn't it? Is that because of the blade?
He was poisoned. Yeah, so the blade pierced him. He got an infection, and then he basically died.
You gotta cover up those infections.
And then Daenerys got a witch to bring him back, but he wasn't like fully back mentally. So then
like
Daenerys then had to like put a pillow over his head and suffocate him.
Oh,
So then
I remember that. What the
yeah,
fuck?
do you remember?
Yeah.
So he basically
And he's
died
suffocating.
twice.
Poor guy. Why did it?
Yeah, I know.
He was like meant to be this fucking super badass warrior. Like he had this super long, like the not dreadlocks, the whatever the things at the back of his hair were. He had like the longest fucking one that you've seen because he's basically never lost or whatever.
Jason Momoa, my god.
I can't like.
So awesome.
Yeah, I wish he was a bit more in it because he fucking sounds badass. But definitely because of the story, makes sense. But still, that's the first question. All right, second question. Ooh, this is a bit okay. Which U.S. city was one of 8 international locations visited by the 2015 Game of Thrones exhibition? Okay, is it 1, Chicago, 2, New York City, 3, San Diego, or 4, Boston? I don't fucking know this. I have no idea.
I do not know, but I'm going to guess Boston.
Boston? All right, we'll say Boston.
If it's not Boston, I reckon it'll be Chicago.
Sadly, it isn't any of those. It is San Diego. The 2015 San Diego Comic-Con played host to the Game of Thrones exhibition in the US. Over the next 12 months, the exhibit also visited Spain, Israel, France, England, Germany, and Sweden. When they come to Australia, they went to Germany. They went to Sweden.
We don't really have Comic Con though.
Yeah, we do. We have Oz Comic Con. We have Oz Comic Con. It's pretty big, I think. We have Supernova as well.
Yeah, I don't know. See, no, that's an unfair question. That's real life questions. I want in-show questions.
So that is a failure, sadly. Okay. The phrase "Vala Magulas" or "All men must die" is usually responded with 1, Vala Daharis.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. Well, I want to say the other ones first.
You don't even need to say the rest.
Or "All men must serve." 2, Vala Ronas, or all men must live. Or 3, Vala Gogo. I guess.
We gotta go.
Wake me up before you go. It says all men must dance. Fuck, it must be that one.
I reckon. You know what? I wish it was all men must dance.
All men must
That'd be like
dance.
a parody. Yeah. Game of Thrones parody. All men must dance.
Yeah. So that was it.
But obviously it's Vala Daharis.
Oh, okay. The season 2 finale was named Vala Magulas, while the season 3 premiere was named Vala Daharis. In 2014, the Brewery Omega Gang created a beer called Vala Magulas, with each cork fire branded with the response. Interesting thing. So that's third question done. Okay. This isn't really fully Game of Thrones, but whatever. American actor Peter Dinklage, who plays Tyrion Lannister, also had a starring role in the fantasy franchise either 1, Lord of the Rings, 2, Highlander, 3, The Chronicles of Narnia, 4, The Legend of Zelda. I have no idea. I can rule out Lord of the Rings.
I know exactly. It's The Chronicles of Narnia.
Was he? What the hell did he play? Did he play like one of the gnomes or whatever? He played
a dwarf.
He played a dwarf. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, all right. The Chronicles of Narnia, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
He played it in the third film, Prince
the
Caspian.
Third one. Caspian. Yeah, that's.
Was that the second? Was that the third one? Was it the second? It might be the second one.
It's one of the sequels. But like, I remember watching that. I was like, oh, that's my boy.
Fuck, I didn't even realize that. All right. 5th question. What is the only thing that can put out volatile wildfire? Is it 1, sand, 2, water, 3, dragon's blood, or 4, sunlight? I don't think it's water.
It's definitely not water because the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, I don't think that. Dragon's blood.
I feel like it's dragon blood.
I think it's sunlight. No, it's not sunlight. No, hang on.
It can't be
put out.
It can't be sunlight.
It can be put out. It says, what is the only thing that can put out volatile wildfire? Remember, even though it exploded underneath the church, it didn't fucking explode the rest of the city. Because you'd think it would turn everything else on fire. But I don't know. That's what I'm assuming.
I'm still going to go with dragon's blood, but if it's sunlight, then that's fair.
Dragon's blood, here we go. Because I don't think it's sand.
It's definitely not sand.
Sounds a bit mundane, sounds boring. Right.
Yeah.
Dragon's blood. Are you fucking kidding? So,
What?
it is not dragon's blood.
Please don't
It
tell me it's
is.
sand.
It's fucking sand.
No, what?
What the fuck?
What?
Okay, so.
That's so.
So.
That's so boring.
Yeah, I know, it sounds... well, so what it says here, it says, so unstable that even strong sunlight can set it ablaze. Wildfire is an extremely volatile substance that can only be extinguished with copious amounts of sand. Where did they get the sand for the fucking city? How did the city not burn down? They blew up an entire church. And wouldn't everything else go on fire? Because it is fire? I thought, fuck, it would have been the sun, because I thought the sun would have stopped it from burning, but it wouldn't. It doesn't really make sense.
I mean, I guess you're all good if you live in Dawn, but like.
Oh yeah, I think you're fine there. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how they put it all out then.
I don't know.
Just how they. No, they just whatever. No, they just had fucking people with sand, throwing sand everywhere. Okay, 6th question. Oh my god. All right, so question 6. Besides dragonglass, what is the only other substance capable of defeating White Walkers? Is it 1, weirwood, 2, wildfire, 3, Valerian steel, or 4, snowballs?
Okay, I know this one. Do you know this one?
Yes, I do know this one.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty obvious one. It's Valerian steel.
We see it in the movie, in the film.
Exactly. It literally shows you.
We don't know about
screen.
wildfire because we've never seen them get catched by wildfire. I don't know what they mean by weirwood. Do they mean like weapons made out of it? And well, look,
I don't know.
I don't think a snowball is going to kill them, but I think it may stop them a little bit. But they might get a bit more pissed.
I feel like they might be highly offended.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty offended from that. Right, Valerian steel. It is. Valerian steel is the only is not only exceptionally sharp, strong, and free of maintenance, but is also capable of taking down immortal White Walkers. The metal is easily identified by the distinctive rippled pattern. Interesting. So, 7th question. Oh, I don't actually know this one. I know it's come up, but I can't remember. How many times has Beric Dondarrion been brought back to life? Is it 1, 3 times?
Okay.
So the first one, is it 3 times? Second, is it 5 times? 3, is it 6 times? 4, is it 7 times? I don't know this. He's at least come back once.
It's definitely not 3.
3, no, definitely not. I feel like I've heard 6. I feel like I've heard 6, but I don't know if that's before he was killed by Sandor or after that.
Wait. So
it goes 5, 6, 7.
Is this counting like all from season 1 to 7?
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming so because of everything else that's come up. I'm assuming everything's up to date because it came out a couple of days ago. So
because I remember when Aya asked him how many times he's brought back, I remember him saying it was either he said 6. I think he said 6, but then later in seasons, he did die again and then got brought back. So I'm gonna say 7.
7. All right, 7. The lucky number.
I'm not fully confident, but if it's not 7, it's 6.
Beric Dondarrion has been resurrected by the God of Light a total of 6 times. His constant cheating of death comes with a price. Each time, he explains, he loses some of his memories and is less himself. That's what a poor way to live. Eventually, he's gonna just come back as like a fucking baby. Just won't know anything. It should be like, imagine if like every time he came back, he got younger. So it's like Benjamin Button.
Yeah. But you know what? Like on that note, like you also think to yourself, like, how does that work with Jon Snow? Because obviously he got brought back. Right? So
is he dumber?
Also, when do you remember when who was it? The old Maester from In the Night's Watch who died, right? He said, "Kill the boy, Jon Snow, and let the man be born."
Yeah.
I felt like that definitely foreshadowed that, right? But like he lost a part of himself, which is probably his. I don't know.
But it's like, how much do you lose? He's died 6 times. So like, does it change, or is it always like he just loses something? But how? I don't know. It's weird. It's the idea of memory and stuff like that. But whatever. Okay.
It's question just like 8. I forgot how to read.
Yeah. Fuck. Like he still knows how to fucking use a sword, so he must still know a bit of things.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, these are a
My
bit
God,
of a random.
his flaming sword. So awesome.
Yeah, what is it? Is it called Lightbringer? Is that what it's called? Or am I thinking
No,
of
no, no, no,
something?
no.
What's it
That's a
called?
very famous sword, but
What's his
he
weapon called? I just know it
he
turns
doesn't
on
have a
fire.
name for his
I
sword.
thought he does. I
It
thought that's what it
just
was. I just
That's
know it
just
turns on
like
fire.
the sort of sigil that the Brotherhood
Oh, yeah.
have. They have the special substance on their swords.
Yeah.
And they have flint in their gloves, and it like lights it up, which is like so.
It's so fucking badass.
Clever as well.
Yeah. All right. So question 8. Yeah, these are a bit wacky and they go around. I don't know this fucking one. Game of Thrones star Anna Buckstein is not only a famous Israeli actress, but also a 1. a ballet dancer, 2. a watercolor artist, 3. singer and songwriter, or 4. synchronized swimming instructor. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that one, eh?
Let's choose ballet dancer.
Yeah,
No,
ballet dancer.
she is a singer-songwriter. I've never heard of you. I'm sorry. She was in this. Oh, shit! She was the girl, I believe, who played that Red Priestess in season 6. I believe she's the one who played. If I'm not mistaken, she's the one who played the one who came to Marine and talked to Daenerys. I think.
Okay.
I think that might be her.
she was very interesting because she had that talk with Varys.
Yeah.
And how she knew about his past.
Yeah. All right.
And that freaked him out.
9th question. Oh, so sad. Which Stark family direwolf was killed in retaliation for an attack on Prince Joffrey? Is it 1. Ghost, 2. Lady, 3. Nymeria, or 4. Summer?
Well,
and that's not Ghost.
No, that's a bad question because.
Oh, it's a bad question.
2. No, wait. So is this back in season 1?
Well, it's just I don't know. It's just a question. I guess it because.
What was it? Wait, what was the question again?
So it says which Stark family direwolf was killed in retaliation for an attack on Prince Joffrey? So is it Ghost, Lady, Nymeria, or Summer?
Hold on, which one died? What the hell? Because Lady died.
Oh, is it?
I'm gonna say Lady. Because
yep, it is. After the direwolf Nymeria flees.
Lady was the one that died, and Nymeria was the one that left.
So it says, after the direwolf Nymeria flees into the woods following a defensive attack against Prince Joffrey, Queen Cersei Lannister orders the execution of her pack sister, Lady. Now, 2 of the 4 remaining Stark family direwolves are in places unknown.
Oh, except for Nymeria, when we saw her back in season 7.
Oh yeah, Summer. Who's a Summer? Do you know what
Summer?
Do you know what Summer's? I don't know.
When was the last time we saw Summer?
I can't fucking remember any of them really. I just know Ghost.
So obviously Ghost is a famous one.
Yeah.
And then Nymeria. So wait. Ghost, Nymeria, Summer,
Lady.
There's
only
was there
5? Isn't
there was only
because
there was one direwolf for each of the Stark children.
Oh, Rob got one, didn't he? Which one was Rob's? Was it Summer? Let's have a look. I'll say direwolves. I'll search it up. Game of direwolves. The Stark direwolves. Where are they now? So yeah, we know about Greywind is the one that Rob Hark had. Rob Hark. Who the fuck is Rob Hark? Rob Stark had Greywind. I've never heard of that name. I swear I've never heard of that.
I feel like because it wasn't an important one. Maybe Summer was Rickon's one.
No, it was Bran Stark's one.
Oh.
And
that's right. Summer died.
Yeah, Summer died. He met his fate at the end. By
the White
Walkers,
back at
in
the tree.
In the tree.
That was so sad. And then bloody Hodor died.
Yeah. No. Lady, we know how she died. And there's also Shaggy Dog. That was Rickon's.
Okay, that's definitely Rickon's. Do we ever see him again?
Shaggy Dog and Rickon reappear in season 6.
Rickon died.
Oh yeah, no, Shaggy Dog died because somebody brought his head. Ramsay Bolton brought his head.
Oh yeah, as a warning.
And it's sort of proof.
Like a battle tactic. I remember that now. Yeah. Oh, Battle of the Bastards! What a bloody
pretty good slapper. All right, back to the questions. So, question 10.
Yes.
I highest punishment for stealing from the many-faced god is death, memory loss, blindness, uncontrollable laughter.
Oh, it's blindness.
Fuck, uncontrollable laughter. That'd be terrible. Yep,
See,
blindness.
if you were to make a parody, you just go to this quiz and look at the answers.
Yeah.
And then be like, uncontrollable laughter. That would be funny.
Ooh.
She'll like turn to the Joker.
I think I know this one. You probably know this one too. It's nothing were the last words of this infamous character. Is it 1, Renly Baratheon, 2, Tywin Lannister, 3, Robb Stark, or 4, King Joffrey? Actually, I don't know this anymore. I thought I did.
Wait, what was the line?
It's nothing.
It's nothing. And that was the last thing they said.
Were the last lines, yep.
I
thought it was, what's his name? The guy who was king.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's Joffrey.
Why is it Joffrey? Is it Joffrey?
Because
it's nothing. It's like a shit way of
going. Like he was coughing / about to start choking.
Yeah.
And then his new wife was like, "Oh, it's nothing," and then he starts dying. It's Joffrey.
All right, King Joffrey. It is the tyrant.
Whoop.
It says the tyrant. Nice. The tyrant King Joffrey uttered these rather unremarkable.
Happy.
Yeah, I think everyone was. Uttered these rather unremarkable last words after being poisoned on his wedding day. Joffrey was killed by a poison called the Strangler, which causes the throat to immediately swell shut. What a terrible way to die, but a good way for him to die.
Yeah.
Well, not a good way, but good way for us to see him die.
I was going to say, because obviously I remember Tywin's last words were, "You're no son of mine."
I thought that it's nothing was that King Baratheon. You know when he's saying, like, he's been, like, hit by a fucking boar or whatever.
Robert.
Yeah, Robert Baratheon. I thought he would have said that just because, like, I just remember, I think him saying those words when he was, like, hit by when he came back and, like, was getting bandaged and everything. He was just saying, "Oh, it's nothing." I thought that was it, but no, it's not it.
Yeah, I think, the last thing he said was, like, that conversation he was having with Ned about, like, running the kingdom, you know?
Yeah. All right. Question 12. The name of King Tommen's favorite cat is 1, Battlepuss, 2, Little Lion, 3, Sir Pounce, 4, Prince Fuzzy. I think I know this one.
I would love if it was.
I think it's Sir Pounce.
Okay. Sir Pounce. Because that sounds right. That sounds familiar.
I feel like somebody said it. I just feel like somebody said it. It is Sir Pounce. In Season 4, Sir Pounce is introduced. Its appearance caused something of a stir on the internet, with fans demanding that Sir Pounce be featured in future episodes. According to one writer, that likely won't happen. I will say that cat was a nightmare to work with. Why don't they just do the cat like from Captain Marvel did? That probably costs a lot of money to fucking do.
Suddenly a Flogan appears in Game of Thrones.
Alright. Question 13. I know this one. What was the name of Ned Stark's greatsword? 1. Actually, I'm not going to give you them. Which one is it? Do you know what it is?
The name of his greatsword.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to say it. I want to let you decide. Come on.
I got to think now. Hold on.
I'm going to think. I will give you some hints over time, but I'll give you some time first.
I mean...
It was reforged, remember?
It was reforged. Yeah, I remember that.
Into 2 weapons.
Tywin took it.
Do you know what they were reforged into?
I remember the two swords. One was given to Jaime, and the other was given to Joffrey.
So
Joffrey's one was Widow's Wail,
and the other one was Oathkeeper.
Jaime's was Oathkeeper.
Yep. All right. I'll give you these other ones. So, is it Northgard or is it Ice?
Like just the word Ice.
Yep.
Well, I feel like it'd be Northgard. Wait. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go with Northgard.
Northgard. Ice was the official sword of the Lord of Winterfell, forged from Valyrian steel and handed down from ages. It is. Yeah.
The man always talked about winter is coming. You know, he would name his sword Ice.
Northgard still sounds pretty cool. But sounds more of a title.
That's season 1 stuff. Like season 1 is very, very important, But I don't. My memory of that isn't like extensive.
Well, it should be fucking amazing. What the hell? All right, so
I'm just getting judged over here.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, who shoots
Goddamn.
the flaming arrow that subsequently destroys Stannis' fleet in Blackwater Bay?
Oh,
Is it? Oh, do you know who it is?
Is it Bronn?
Yeah, it is Bronn. Because I don't think it's Tyrion or King Joffrey.
Bronn was the badass.
Hey, I just have another thing. How is he this just fucking really good fucking fighter? Just this mercenary. He's apparently good at fucking everything. He can shoot a fucking bow.
Just because.
Like, that's the thing that I don't mind, but it's like, what the hell? He's just basically this OP character. He's really good at fucking everything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, character-wise, he does have some flaws, you know.
Oh yeah, well, he's fucking drug. I was gonna say drug addict. He's an alcoholic, and he's
an alcoholic. He's, you know, a womanizer as well.
He's not. Oh, he's smart, but I don't think he always makes the smartest decisions. I guess. Because like there was that scene where he and the Battle of Blackwater Bay, when he was in the bar with all those Lannister boys, the Hound went in, and then he was gonna like probably kill him. Well, not kill him, but attack him because he had his knife out when they were talking. But then a guy came like, "Oh, the fucking fleet's here," and stopped. Like if that guy wouldn't have come, I bet you he would have fucking tried to stab him. But see, that's also So, question 15. Prince Oberyn Martell is nicknamed the Red Viper because of his combat and pride in drawing blood first, knowledge of poisons, nightmare attacks, or ruby-colored armor. I don't know this.
What was the first? What was the first options?
The first one is pride in drawing blood first, knowledge of poisons, nighttime attacks, and ruby-colored armor.
My gut is telling me it's the first one.
I think it might be too.
Also, a bit of logic is saying the second one.
Yeah.
You know.
So the first one we'll say?
I'll say the first one.
Yeah. Oberyn Martell is skilled not only in combat, but also in the use of deadly poisons.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is poisons. It does sort of make sense, but it also the pride of drawing blood first, I guess, because of the red part. But the Viper poisons.
Is venomous, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Hold on. In the battle against Sir Gregor Clegane that ultimately cost his life, Martell managed to severely wound the mountain with a spear tip coated in poisonous manticore venom. What the hell's a manticore in Game of Thrones? Because manticore is like a fucking half scorpion, half whatever else it is.
Right? Manticore, isn't that like half lion, half...
So I know that's
scorpion,
a chimera, I think. It might be a lion too. No, yeah, sorry, it is also a lion. It's a lion and the tail of a venomous, like a scorpion. No, sorry,
I wonder if that actually is in Game of Thrones lore, do you reckon?
It says... I want that to be. There's fucking dragons. Why would there be manticore?
That would be fucking...
However, I would definitely think like they'd probably been like hunted down to existence, like to extinction. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, because I reckon like there is like probably like a lot of mythical creatures, but I reckon like in the times, like even in modern day, we have a lot of extinct animals.
Yeah, because like
so I feel like it's probably just like that.
Like there's probably a lot of magical creatures because there's fucking giants.
Look,
and there's
I'm
dragons.
gonna say if dragons exist, I feel like anything could exist.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
And zombies too. Like I feel like anything.
There's a variety.
That's the one thing I guess that I kind of not actually like. I didn't actually mind it. Like there wasn't a lot of like mythical monster creatures, but I think if they added it in, it would have made it even much better. But I definitely think it would have.
Make sure those war elephants are humongous.
I want fucking giant war elephants. I want fucking. I don't know, Pegasus. I
want Bronn to get his castle.
Yeah, fuck. I want it. Yeah, and yeah.
And I want to know what Podrick did to those girls.
I think that's what's on everyone's mind. I can't believe that's. I wonder if that's just like a fucking joke and they just put it in. Like,
Sure.
just,
Yeah.
how they just sort of just think of that. But whatever. All right.
Just like it's so funny. Like Tyrion, Podrick, and Bronn together. Those three are so funny.
Yeah, they're really good. I really like them.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Question 16. The Night King was created using a dagger made of Valyrian steel, blue ice, dragon glass, or weirwood.
Dragonglass.
Yeah. I don't know, what the fuck is blue ice?
Blue ice.
Ice is
no idea.
blue, isn't anyway, isn't it? Why does
Yeah.
blue in front of it? Yeah, it's
I don't
dragon
know.
glass.
But you know what? You know what's also interesting about that? Like, it's weird how Dragonglass can kill White Walkers, but the Night King was created by a Dragonglass.
It's very ironic to think it's like the thing that created him can also kill him. But yeah,
no, but will it? I reckon if
it can kill all his minions, at least.
Yeah, I don't think if someone tries to kill him with like a Dragonglass sword, I don't think he'll die.
I don't think he'll die.
I think the Night King will only die via magical means.
Sacrifice, ritual.
And I honestly don't know how. Like, this is why I'm honestly believing why everyone's just gonna die, because I have no idea how the Night King can die. You know? Just makes me so sad.
Just fucking lock him up in a tomb or something. Alright. Ooh. How many arrows does Ramsay Bolton let loose at Rickon Stark? Is it 3 arrows, 5 arrows, 2 arrows, or 4 arrows? This is how many arrows, not the ones that hit him.
Wait. So is this including the arrow that does hit him?
Yep. I'm assuming so, because this is how many arrows does Ramsay Bolton let loose. I'm assuming it is.
Okay.
So is it 3, 5, 2, or 4? Not 2. I don't think it's 2.
I remember it's 4. Only because it was I remember it was the timing. So it had the first shot.
Yep.
And then the second shot. And then the final third shot. And then it cut to him, being, there's relief, he's so close. And then it looks like he's in the clear, and then boom, surprise, number 4.
He's such a fucking good shot. I just want to say that's some pretty good fucking aim. Not to, he's still a fucking crazy maniac.
Also, Rickon, just running in a straight line instead of zigzag.
Yeah, why don't you fucking run in a zigzag? Dude, that always works. Come on. Yeah. All right. So 4. Yes, at the beginning of the Battle of the Bastards, Ramsay Bolton tells Rickon Stark to run across the battlefield towards Jon Snow. In a cruel twist, he then begins shooting arrows at the young man. Despite Rickon's best efforts, just want to emphasize that, the 4th arrow finds its mark and ends his life. I don't think he probably could have ran a bit of sideways, but he's fucking Ramsay Bolton.
Do you remember what Ramsay said before he let him go?
No, what did he say?
He was like, "Do you like games, little man?" Let's play a game.
Thank fuck he died.
He's legit like Saw,
Yeah. No. Oh, no, I know this one.
I love that. It's like every question.
This is weird because the image is different to what the question says. I was a bit confused. I was like, doesn't make sense. I'll tell you about after.
Okay.
So it says, who created the secret tunnel in the sewers under Casterly Rock? Is it 1, Tyrion Lannister, 2, Lord Baelish, 3, Jaime Lannister, or 4, Varys?
It's Tyrion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Tyrion. Yeah, because he talks about that using as a battle plan to get into Casterly Rock. No, the reason why I said like what I said before is because the image is Dragonstone. I was like, that's not Casterly Rock. And I was a bit confused. I was like, I didn't know they had secret tunnels. And
I think this quiz hasn't done its own research.
Yeah, fucking I just want to say, Dragonstone looks fucking cool. And
yes.
Fucking really cool. It's so menacing.
You know what I'm keen for, though? Like, once Game of Thrones ends, they're turning all the location sets into tourist destinations. So y'all know your boy is going to check out the location set for Dragonstone.
Yeah, I definitely think
you can go there. Like all the stairs are there. The stairs are there, but not the actual
the entire fucking castle.
The castle isn't there.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think
it's just an island.
it's
But
such
I
a
really want to
fucking
go
cool design. Like, it's very menacing. Looking at it, it's like, it's very pointed. It's very sort of intimidating. I really fucking like it. It's definitely one of my, I would say it's one of probably a very famous castle design. Just because of the way it's designed, it's very traditional in the way it looks like, but it's very sort of, the way it looks is very menacing. It's very sort of intimidating. The way it's sort of, the black sort of out of it. It's sort of like, there's all these super cool castles. Right, yeah, so Tyrion Lannister. Yep, he did that. Question 19. What is Sansa Stark's favorite treat? Is it one?
Treat.
Is it one?
Okay.
Apple cranberry crisp? 2.
That sounds good.
Strawberry rhubarb pie? 3. Lemon cakes? Or 4. Honey cakes?
I believe from memory it's lemon cakes.
I think it's lemon cakes as well. It sure is. Oh, as author, George R.R. Martin explains, lemons do not grow in the north, so having access to the traditional Lannister dish would be a treat. They would occasionally in the summers get fruit, lemons, that they would make cakes out of, but it would not be an everyday thing, he said. It would be special and exciting. Interesting. All right.
There you go.
Final question. Oh,
heck.
Fuck, that looks like a cool image. So the image is of, that undead bear? It's basically that, like, its head open. It's fucking cool.
That's sick.
Dead creatures revived by White Walkers are known as Walkers, Whites, Zombie, or Claws. I think it's Walkers, isn't it? Or it may not be Walkers. It might be Whites. I've never heard. I think
it's. I've heard plenty of Whites.
Is it? I can't remember. I just feel like
I think
I'm
it's
hearing
Whites.
I know Whites, like, from everything else, but I don't know. It probably is Whites. It is Whites. Whites compose the undead army of the White Walkers and include humans, giants, horses, snow bears, and one very large dragon. They are extremely susceptible to fire and dragonglass. More importantly, if the White Walker that revived it dies, the Whites too will perish. Get your score. You're a serious threat. You scored 14 out of 20. It's still pretty good. Still pretty good. We're going a lot over time.
That's terrible.
Yes, it's good. We're going to quickly move over to the final section. Okay, all right. So this has been going for quite a long time. I thought it was going to be a bit shorter, but sadly not. So
sadly, what do you mean sadly?
Well, sadly, I wanted to go.
I could honestly talk about Game of Thrones for hours.
I could talk about it, but sadly, we can't make it go on for however fucking long it could go for. So, the final things I think I want to talk about is the future of Game of Thrones. You were talking a little bit about this before on how at the end of Game of Thrones they're going to make all these scenes or the locations, sort of tourist destinations, stuff like that. That's definitely a really big thing. One thing I do want to talk about is all the different spin-off ideas that they have. So there's one, you probably heard of it, is the prequel one. And I was reading a bit of a synopsis on what it might be about. Is it's set, the prequel is essentially set 1,000 years before the events of the current series. Expansion to the universe will chronicle the world's shift from a golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. So I believe that's during the other long night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe that HBO actually confirmed the name of the spin-off is called The Long Night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'd be very keen to watch that.
I like to see that. I like to think. What I want to see is more fucking magical creatures. Actually, thinking about it, I want to fucking see those ice spiders. They sound cool. Whatever they are.
Yes. Please.
They just sound fucking cool.
Do you remember back in season 1
when the lady,
the old woman was like, that was also one of my favorite speeches in the series. Like, oh my sweet summer child, what do you know of fear?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so amazing.
There's a lot of good scenes, but no, definitely. I definitely think the prequel has a lot to do. Like, there's a lot can happen because we don't really know very much.
I feel like if we don't see ice spiders in season 8, we'll definitely see them in
the new one. Yeah, definitely.
Off the Long Night.
I definitely think. I feel like it's going to be a lot more maybe wild is the best way of saying it, in the sense that it's not like as organized as this, like how the world is currently portrayed with all these houses all set up
Oh
already with
yeah,
all
I
these
feel like
houses.
everything will
It's gonna be like
explode in terms of
nomadic.
shit.
Well, it's gonna
Yeah.
also be like people like it's gonna. I'm assuming it's still well, like 1,000 years. Is a fucking long time, by the way. That's a long time for like humans and
Mm.
shit. So I don't know if it's gonna be like cavemen or shit like that, but I don't think it'll be like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll see like the first men and
Because
like
I
the
think we'll
animals or
we'll learn
something.
about because I know the giants were a bigger threat back then, but I think there
Yeah,
were
well,
a lot of them
there'll
killed
be a lot more giants. They'll
because they
probably be
were.
the children of the forest.
And also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's some like deer people or some shit like that the
Yeah,
children
like
of the
there
forest
are
know.
a lot of different magical creatures like in lore.
Yeah,
Like
like I just want to see cool creatures. That's what I want to see. Um,
yes. Same.
like I want to see characters, but I want to see some. I think they should do a lot. Like I just feel like because of the way I'm looking at it is because it's not. I guess the best way of saying is it's not as tamed as this as the current Game of Thrones because it's set in the like the distant past where clearly civilization hasn't, it's not as up to date as what it is, and there's all these people, I guess, being sort of nomads and moving around. I definitely think the idea of a lot more creatures would make that a lot more funner, just because of the idea of it's sort of this untamed landscape, really, and there's all these different creatures. And if there's like, fuck, if they have that, damn, that would be really good because, yeah, I fucking would love the characters and everything, but I think definitely they should add just fucking cool mythological whatever myth creatures. I don't know what the fuck
Mythological.
mythological
Yes.
creatures. Yes, like dragons, whatever. Fucking I don't know. Fucking trolls and stuff. Goblins, orcs. There's no orcs and goblins in this. Very interesting. Usually every fantasy trope
Yeah,
has some goblin.
I'd rather not see them.
No, I
You
wouldn't.
know,
Like I think
that's
there's a
like
reason why they aren't
I've
in that.
seen plenty of Lord of the Rings stuff. Like
100%.
you know, I'd rather just see
Um,
different stuff.
yeah, I think I would like to see it more or less like because they've already set all the like the races, the dominant races in the world. So like adding goblins or orcs, I think would take that a bit away. But I definitely
Yeah,
they should add like unique creatures, manticores, for
yeah,
example,
like or like
or
dryas. Is that what they are?
dryads.
Dryads.
So like
That
the
would be so sick.
spriggans and stuff like that. Um,
Mm.
pixies. But no, there's
Pixies, yeah.
hundred of different things. Like I definitely think that'd be a really
Or
cool
like,
take on
oh, you'd be interesting like creatures, like wisps.
will-o-wisp. Yes.
Yeah, those would be cool.
Yeah,
Because
that would
like, do you
be.
remember the movie Brave, the Disney movie Brave?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like wisps like that. That would be really interesting, like on a sort of spiritual level,
Level,
like
yeah.
in the show.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there's like hundreds of ideas, and I definitely think, yeah, I feel like they should put in a lot of creatures. I just think that'd be cool. But yeah, like going back on the idea of, I don't, I know there's a lot of other spin-off ideas, but then none of them have been confirmed. But there's also, probably hundreds of different ones.
There was one where it's like Robert's Rebellion. So it's like
I feel like maybe they shouldn't do that. Maybe they could just.
I don't think they should because they've already
Yeah,
done some
they've already
flashbacks
done
with
that.
that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I was thinking they've kind of done the flashbacks and they've given us enough detail to know about it that we don't really need to
Yeah.
see it because
Like
we know
the
the
only
entire
thing we're
twist. Like
missing is
we
like
know the entire
probably
twist.
the battle scenes,
Yeah, like
in
because
the
we
rebellion.
know the whole reason behind it too and everything, right? Because that
Yeah,
entire
exactly.
war was built on a lie, right? Like because yeah, we basically know everything except the battles. I think the battles would be pretty cool, but I think there's
Oh
some
yeah,
fan people out there who'd fucking make that. 100%. I think someone
most
would have done
likely.
that. But like, I think there's a potential for a lot of other prequels. I like this. I think an interesting one, and I think this goes against a little bit of how Game of Thrones would work, is maybe like an exploration series. It's sort of like maybe following a couple of people on a ship or something, and they're exploring the entire world. Right? They're exploring Westeros, maybe in in the future or in the past. They're exploring Essos. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see the rest of Essos because we only see like the left hand side of it. We don't know what the hell's on the right hand side. There's also all these other islands around it. I think that'd be a really cool one because there's apparently like there are actually other magical creatures, I think, on different islands. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not too sure what they are. But there's also the like what about what's to the left of Westeros? What's to the left of it? You know, because sort of looking at the map, it looks sort of like Britain and Europe, right? Maybe to the left, there's like America, right? Who knows what that could be? There's a whole lot of opportunities.
Yeah, because it could be that whole because how the Earth like changes and it can be like supercontinents.
Yeah.
So like imagine if it was like starting to sort of be in that realm of like the supercontinent has started to break away, but like part of it has become Westeros, and then like
I liked it.
That would be really interesting. And then like in the future, there'd be like a spin-off where it's like modern day times, and like suddenly you have like lawyers and brokers, but like you still have the houses in place. That'd be weird.
But no, like there's hundreds of ideas that could happen, and also because it is still technically George Martin's work, like still technically he still has control over whatever gets out, whatever. But I definitely think there's a whole host of things that can to stem from it. But I do want to say from this, I think there's definitely a lot of potential for maybe a prequel series. 100%. That one's coming out whenever. 100% enjoy, look forward to that one. I definitely think they could do another one, whatever, like another series could be in the future, and then there's at least 3 different series in it. I think maybe after that, maybe that maybe should be it for it.
Okay. Have you heard of the prequel where it's the Doom of Valyria?
Oh, I haven't heard of it
because I would so watch that because
that would be pretty cool.
That would be all of
like
the
this advanced
Targaryens.
Yeah,
it's an advanced civilization based on the Targaryen line, the origins of it. So you would see like all these dragons, and we would actually see what happens to Valyria and how.
Yeah, because we don't really know how it died.
Yeah, it's like touched on, and then the whole like stone men thing with like that, which was like a whole nother weird deal. But like, I would love to see like just so many Targaryens on dragons just throughout that spinoff. That would be
pretty cool. That would be pretty fucking cool. I definitely there's like
because they those would be massive. Like they would be more.
They'd be much larger.
They would be a lot larger than Drogon.
Yeah, and even bigger than Balerion. Is that his name? The big fucking dead one. Is that not Balerion?
Yeah, no.
Balerion.
Viserion.
Viserion.
The white.
No, the Is that the one with the skull in the bottom of King's Landing?
Oh, under the crypts.
Under the crypts.
Yeah, that's an ancient one. It starts
with B. It's called Balerion. There's
Balerion.
Balerion, known as Balerion the Black Dread. It was a dragon ridden by Aegon Targaryen during the War of Conquest.
Which is interesting because that is Jon Snow's name.
Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Yeah, he's gonna bring back Balerion. Oh fuck, that'd be cool. Bring back a skeleton dragon.
I'm just honestly waiting to see him ride one of the dragons.
I think he will.
It's guaranteed to happen. Because oh my god, fuck yeah, I'm so keen. 6 days.
Balerion is like this massive dragon. Oh man, there's so much other shit I fucking want to talk about, but this is going very long. It's been an hour and a half.
Has it? Oh my god.
Yeah, it has. The other thing I do want to say, I saw this the other day, was they're making a documentary of the series.
It's going to come out literally the day after the series ends.
It's pretty interesting. I want to see what it's about.
I'm going to be on that. Behind the scene footage. Don't mind if I delete it.
Yes. Well, we're going to move over to the conclusion section.
Yes.
All right, Christian. It has been a pleasure talking with you on everything Game of Thrones. I thought we might have went through a lot more than what my list had. We've only been through like 4 theories that I had out of like the 20 or something. The one quiz out of the 2 quizzes, and this other stuff that I would thinking of talking about. But sadly,
we trailed off, but
yeah, we will.
it's still Game of Thrones talk. So
Oh yeah, no, we talk about fucking everything Game of Thrones, but there's so much to talk about, and there's so much
yes,
more
there's
that
always
talk about.
so much to talk about.
But I will say, if we can, and we will try, because in the next 6 days, Game of Thrones comes out, season 8, the final season, everyone's been waiting for, is we will try and do a podcast episode, basically, I guess, a post-episode discussion. It won't be as long, I don't think. And it'll basically just be talking, yeah, it'll basically be talking about what happened, certain things that may happen, and also just anything about it, really. Anything more that we're talking about here, anyway. I will say, if you can't do a Christian, I may do one. I can just do one. I can just talk through it all, because I can go through it just like an analysis and whatever. Hopefully, we can have you on and we can talk all Game of Thrones for the season 8, because I definitely think there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm not going to promise anything, but maybe there will be some Game of Thrones post season 8 episode discussions coming up in the next couple of weeks. So you can look forward to that, whoever is listening.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd be definitely down for that. We could do like recaps and then discussions. And then,
so I will say they're going to be full of spoilers, probably. Maybe we might
definitely have a spoiler alert on the
I'll definitely
banner.
make it like maybe the first part maybe might not fully be spoilers, but I can't contain myself, so probably not excited for season 8. You are
excited. Like words cannot describe how excited I
am. Yeah. Also, I will say that I'm not promising anything, but we're going to try and continue to keep this podcast up, and I will 100%, 110% get a podcast out after the 24th of April, if everyone knows what that date is. That is Avengers Endgame. I 100% want to do a podcast straight after that and talking about a lot of that. I think one podcast won't be enough for that, so we might, if I can, do 2, because there's a lot that's going to happen, mainly from what the movie is and everything that entails because of the movie.
The introduction to the MCM, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse.
Ooh, sounds good. I believe that is everything. There's nothing else you would like to say, Christian? Any final remarks that you would like to say?
When you win the game, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
So does that mean that we're going to die? Because how do we win? Because we're watching Game of Thrones.
There is no win.
We're all dead.
It's always...
Well, I guess we all technically die at the end, because we're going to... That death is that it's never coming back. We've watched all of the Game of Thrones. Like for this series, that's the death. That's the death.
Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder. Everyone else is chaos as well. So, I believe that is the end of episode 4 of the Hive Chat.
Well, glad to be here.
I have been joined from Christian. Thank you very much for joining me on this podcast and talking all things Game of Thrones. And I've had a wonderful time.
You're very welcome. I had an excellent time in discussing that as well.
Well, Alex isn't here, so I believe instead to sign us off, maybe we can do a Game of Thrones sign-off.
Vala Mogulis.
Vala Doharas.